Okay, dear Dhamma friends, so we have come to the last question and answer session in this Kalalgoda English medium retreat. So as usual, I invite to begin with the written questions.
Most Venerable Sir, today we have altogether 3 questions,
Yes.
out of which 2 are related to yesterday's Dhamma sermon and one on Kayanupassana. Which one do you want me to?
Maybe Kayanupassana first. Yes.
Venerable Bhante, can a yogi achieve Kayanupassana by walking meditation only? If so, what should he do next? Thero Saranai.
Walking meditation only. There are greater benefits in walking meditation. So if you refer Anguttara Nikaya Panchaka Nipata Chankamana Nisansa Sutta, there Buddha clearly says 5 advantages or 5 benefits of walking meditation. First he says Addhanam Kamohoti, where you get the ability to walk long distances. You know, I mean, during the past, they don't have much of a, say, transport facilities. So most of the traveling has happened by walking. So the ability to walk long distance is a blessing at that time. So Buddha says if one involved in walking meditation, so he gets this ability, he develops this ability. So that's a one advantage. Then appabado hoti. So one becomes fairly healthy. So you may have less ailments, less sickness, and so your body becomes less sick and you are fairly healthy. That's another advantage. Appabado hoti, padhanakkamo hoti, padhanakkamo hoti. That is now, as you know, this meditation is something which is taking long time. It may be even several years, it may be this whole life or maybe several lives. So likewise, it is a kind of a fairly kind of major or stronger undertaking. So you need fair amount of dedication. So rather than just doing it for 1 month, 2 months, so you need to have effort to continue for several years. So it is not like kind of a marathon, this 100 meters race, but it is like a marathon. You know, marathon is something that you can't run on an extremely high speed. At the same time, you can't walk also. So you need to maintain some amount of speed. So you have to travel a long distance. Similarly, meditation also, it may not happen within a month or within a year. It may take several years and even the whole lifetime. So it depends. And again, if you consider during the Buddha's time, so there were many people who may have practiced, but not everyone became arhants. So if it was the situation, and since the Buddha and the arhants were there, so everybody during that time should have attained arhantship. But it didn't happen. So that indicates, so we have to of course try hard, but at the same time we have our own capacities, our own potentials. So depending on that only, we are able to implement it. So anyway, so we need fair amount of energy, fair amount of effort to continue this, because there may be many ups and downs in this journey, in this spiritual journey. So you need to have kind of unwavering kind of a relentless kind of a effort. So that is where padhana, where you have that kind of energy, maintaining that energy. So Buddha says if one is doing walking meditation, so this kind of a energy being built up. It is not just a kind of a short-term undertaking, but is something long-term, and you are geared to do that. And another advantage, he say, Chankamadigato hoti, Chankamadigato samadhi hoti chirattitiko. Chankamadigato samadhi chirattitiko hoti. So this the concentration developed in the walking meditation is lasting long. unlike sitting meditation. In sitting meditation, suppose you may develop fair amount of concentration, maybe deep, but once you get up and within say few hours, that strength may disappear, fades away. But if you are developing fair amount of concentration through walking meditation, which is lasting for long time. Actually, it can be well understood because we know we are doing walking meditation amidst many distractions. So our eyes are open, the others are also walking around us, and there are many sounds. So we have to intentionally do things. So even with all these situations, all these distractions, we are able to maintain our attention at the soles of the foot. So this is the challenge. So if one is skilled in doing this, Buddha says that develops concentration, and that concentration helps to maintain the already developed concentration for a long time. So likewise, Buddha explains this kind of advantages in walking meditation, and I can't say that one may attain say complete arahantship purely just merely by walking meditation, because all these things helps. So Buddha has mentioned in say Satipatthana Samyutta Iriyapata Pabba that our bodies have these 4 main postures: lying down, sitting, standing and walking. And he is asking us to be mindful in all those postures, and not only on these 4 postures. And then he further tells yata yatava kayo panihito hoti tatha tathanam pajanati. So whatever the way body behaves, or body behaves, then that way at that time, then and there, we need to be mindful. So there is no any kind of a posture which is not valid for meditation, not valid for mindfulness. Every posture is a resource for mindfulness. So therefore, develop walking meditation, it's a must, and it's a really good thing to have. And at the same time, when you're going for sitting meditation, with the develop mindfulness, develop concentration coming from the walking meditation, then your sitting meditation will be fairly successful. So walking helps to generate some kind of a balance and that kind of a lasting ability, and then you go to sitting, and sitting will go deeper and deeper, so that your mind will be fairly concentrated. So I think so therefore, especially for samatha meditation, sitting is fairly useful. But on the other hand, for vipassana, walking, I would say maybe 50-50 or 75-25, something like that. Because walking gives a real energy and real gearing or real momentum in vipassana particularly. Because unlike samatha is maintaining your attention in a particular point, say on a one place, for example. But vipassana, on the other hand, you are ready to pay your attention throughout the body. The whole body becomes valid. So that exercise being done in walking, where when your left foot is touching, you have to pay your attention there. When your right foot is touching, you have to immediately take your attention there. Again, when your left foot is touching, again that attention has to be put here. So likewise, it's a very dynamic process. So this is the exercise. So, yeah.
Most Venerable Bhante, arising from yesterday's Dhamma talk, could you please explain the Sankhara a little further? Theruvan Saranai.
I thought I have explained enough. Anyway, so it's a fairly deeper subject. So as I said, so in the books we can understand 2 categories even, that Kaya Sankhara, Vachi Sankhara, Mano Sankhara, where bodily formations, bodily activities which are intentional, and there are verbal activities, that is verbal expressions which are also intentional, And again, mental activities, thinking, proliferation, that also are intentional. So these intentional activities has karmic repercussions, karmic results. So that is the most, gross level, where whatever the bodily activities, suppose we are doing some kind of unwholesome activity using the body. Say one is killing or stealing, sexual misconduct. So if one is engaging with such kind of bodily activities, so eventually one has to pay for that. Again, if one is intentionally doing some verbal activities, unwholesome, like lying, slandering, gossiping, harsh words, like that, so that still has the karmic result. So harsh word does not mean necessarily that you are using filthy words. But if your tone is fairly strong, that you are insulting another person, you are hurting the other person to the maximum, that is fair enough. So because it does not necessarily mean that you have to use the filthy words, parusa vacha. So especially this verbal side is mostly the area that we get caught. Actually, we can behave ourselves well in body if we restrain. But unfortunately, we don't know how to handle our words. So sometimes we are too quick to tell certain things to others, and we regret later. And we are simply start gossiping, just chattering with others, and unnecessary thinking will sort of fill your mind. And sometimes we may start with some gossiping and ultimately end up with some clashes, breaking of the, say, friendships, going to look down the others. So all such kind of things are there. And again, through the speech, we are looking down others and telling that I am the boss, or I am the best, or something like that. So through the speech. So this speech is the majority, of us get caught in speech. So we have to be extremely careful on how we handle our words, verbal activities. And then the mental activities. So if we have some unreasonable kind of attachment, unreasonable kind of greed towards someone or something, so that generates karmic formations. Abhijja, in Pali it is called abhijja, where you understand, suppose, say for example, just for easy understanding, if I am taking an example, suppose you know very well, so and so is already married, he or she is someone else's husband or wife, for example, and you know that, but due to some reason, suppose you like that person, so this develops again and again, really as an obsessive thought, and you know very well he or she belongs to someone else and they have a good family also, but still you have this kind of a passion developing. So this is abhijja. So similarly, say someone is having some particular resource, say a car or TV or whatever thing, and without the capacity to have it, you have some kind of a greed for that. So this is abhijja. Similarly, ill will, say you are having aversion, anger, those things, that is also contribute in the mental side. And again, if you have wrong view, that is also contributing. So these are the areas through the mental side that we create karma. So these are in a way gross. But on the other hand, there are certain other activities which happens sometimes because of the others. So sometimes we have to do certain things because of the others. So that also may have some karmic result. So sometimes we are telling certain things because of the others. Still we have to suffer if those are unwholesome. Again, because of the impulses of the others, because of the temptations of the others, we may be thinking unnecessarily. So that also has an impact on ourselves. So there's a sutta called Sanchetaniya Sutta in Sangyukta Nikaya, where Buddha gives this kind of a fairly comprehensive analysis of how this can happen. So there he says, so when one takes, body belongs to me, I have a body, so this is me, I am a beautiful person, I am a tall person, I am a fat person, or I am a strong person, I am a pretty person. So likewise, because of undertaking that kind of a body, taking body as a unit, as something belong to me, or body is I am, then Buddha says because of that wrong notion, one may develop either happiness or pain. And similarly, when one takes the speech, so I can speak loudly, I can sing nicely, I can recite nicely, or we can use harsh words or lies or any of those things. So using the speech, maybe language skills, whatever thing. When we are taking the speech, that also helps to develop happiness and unhappiness. Similarly, when one takes the mind, so I am so and so, I am with this much of say wealth. So likewise, all are mind created. So through the mind also we develop happiness and unhappiness. And Buddha says, so all these things are happening because of avidya, this ignorance. And again, these karmic formations can happen even knowingly or even unknowingly. So that is the sort of the dangerous part. Thing can happen even unknowingly. There is no excuse. And again, it can happen because of the others and because of your own initiative. That's another side of the sankhara. And again, Buddha says some more in sankhara that we have the kaya sankhara. The minimum level of it is that breathing, in breath and out breath, is also called kaya sankhara because that is the bare minimum of the bodily activities. Then the vachi sankhara, bare minimum, is called vitakka vichara. Vitakka is the applied thought that you are driving or moving your mind to a particular object, and then vichara is the kind of dealing with it or moving in it. Applied thought, rather the sustained thought, that's the vichara. So which actually happens just before the talking, just before the speech. Therefore that is called vachi sankhara, that is the minimum level. And then there's another one called chitta sankhara, which is sanya and vedana, perception and the feelings. So that, according to Buddha, so that is the very say primitive or the essence of the mind, perception and the sanya, perception and the feelings. So this is also explained in the Anapanasati Sutta. Say at the Kayanupassana level, you are sort of calming down kaya sankhara. The in-breath and out-breath is now calmed down. Then once you come into the Vedananupassana level, so your chitta sankhara, vedana sanya, fairly calmed down. And when you are in say mostly without an objectless side, then mostly that vitakka vichara is also not functioning. So that is also fairly subsided. So this stilling of formations is a fairly deep subject in Dhamma, and so it is very well addressed in Chittanupassana and Dhammanupassana, particularly in Dhammanupassana, because more and more you start to aware about yourself, start to aware about your mind. So you understand how say how much what to say, I don't get a better word for that. Anyway, I mean, we think sometimes we are really good people, I am a so and so, I am really virtuous, but there are some underlying tendencies, certain hidden areas that those could be really really mean. So we have to have a very honest, extremely humble attitude to understand even those areas. Otherwise, we simply see the surface and we decide, okay, now I am so and so, I am done, or I am good, like that. We stop at that level. But if you are so innocent, if you are so humble, if you are fairly down to earth, and you just are able to be with others, moving with others. So when you are coming especially to Dhammanupassana, say some developed levels of Vipassana, the others are showing you how, there's a nice word I am looking, but it is not coming. How crooked you are, how much sort of cunning you are. So those kind of very hidden characteristics are there in our characters. So we might even not think of it, but such things are hidden. So others are actually showing those things, because sometimes they may neglect us, they may show some kind of a resistance towards us because of our activities have felt by the others, but we couldn't understood those things, such hidden personality traits. So therefore, especially in in Mahasi tradition, it is said that when someone has developed to some extent, so they are put into do various works, to deal with others, to do some dirty works, and then only they will understand this hidden nature of the mind. Because it is not easy to handle people, especially to deal with others, to help others, and to do some activities. Now say for example, when I am here and you all are there, and there's a very high chance conceit to happen in me, because you all are here and looking at me, I am like a big boss, I am telling big things. So I have to be extremely careful than you. Otherwise I'll get trapped. Otherwise I'll get you all are safe, but I am in a big danger. So actually has to be very careful. And again, when people are worshipping, where people are respecting, so those are actually some pitfalls. And sometimes even the knowledge, Buddha says, if someone thinks that one is very knowledgeable, well educated, well learned, and still even that can cause to develop conceit. So this conceit is another area. It's extremely, very difficult to sometimes fully understand unless you become fairly humble, unless you become very down to earth, and you are honestly assessing what is mind is doing. If you can't do that, you get trapped, you get caught to those things. So that is why it is only uprooted once you become fully enlightened at the Arahantship. So you can understand how subtle these defilements are, how tricky they are. So it appears like we are beautiful and very good and like saints, but things are underneath. So all are in a way, it is not something that the defilements came just in this life. For years and years, we were in this crap, we were in this shit. And in this life, so we got the opportunity to see ourselves, understand ourselves because of the Dhamma, because of the Buddha, because of the Sangha, because of the good friends. So therefore Buddha says the friendship helps a lot in the spiritual path. So when someone is telling, okay, you did something wrong there, or you have this kind of a wrong attitude, or you have this kind of bad behavior, so if you are able to accept it, acknowledge it very humbly, and looking at it like a treasure shone, then you win the race. Otherwise, Buddha says, you get trapped. You become a kind of asappurisa even. Buddha didn't even avoid that term. If you look at Sappurisa Sutta, as a beautiful sutta, Sappurisa Sutta. So there Buddha say, so related to the monks, so there is for example, one monk coming from a good clan, say good family, and become a monk. And he is thinking, okay, I came from such and such a reputed family, but the other monks are from poor families. So if he thinking like that, looking down the others and sort of exaggerating himself, and Buddha says he's an asappurisa. And then someone is, say there are certain Dutanga practices, some austere practices. So suppose someone is going on village Pindapata. And the other monks are simply eating food what is taken to the monastery. And this particular monk, if he is thinking the others are all lazy gods and they are simply eating what is taken to the monastery, I am the only one doing the best. And if he is thinking like that, Buddha says he is an asappurisa. And not only for these things, even for jhanas, Buddha is telling this. Buddha is saying if someone is having first jhana and he looks down the others, telling that I have this first jhana, the others don't have. If you look at, if that person looking down the others based on that, he's telling he's an asappurisa. So you can see in the spiritual part how even the spiritual qualities can become certain say arrows, certain pitfalls for our own say destruction. And there are many sort of meditators in between. They think that they have achieved, they are so and so, and they started various things, and ultimately sort of even either they disrobe or get into some issues, some problems. So such things are there. So that's why it is, in a way, it's a kind of a very careful path we have to go. We have to be with the friends, we have to be with the Kalyana Mittas, with the others, and in a very kind of a honest, humble way, then only you can look forward. Yeah, we'll go.
Venerable Sir, in yesterday's Dhamma sermon, you mentioned about the mind being calm, not attracting to anything, and being free. At this point, you said not to go back to rising and falling, breathing, as that would be going backwards in the practice. But what do I do at this point if I feel different sensations in the body, like vibrations, heat, cold, pain, etc.? Please guide me. Thank you. Much merit to you.
Yeah, so that is why, before you reach this stage, we are asked to stay with these vibrations, whatever the element characteristics, arising and passing away, all these things, that we have to observe as much as possible. So we are in the observation of rising and passing away for a fairly long time. So this is in a way giving us the momentum, or sort of educating the mind about the nature of the sankhara, about the nature of the conditioned phenomena, because they have the nature to arise and then pass away, to arise and then pass away. They were not there, now they are arising, and immediately or after a while they disappear. So you have to constantly observe this. So if your mind have constantly done this job, so it will understand the reality. It will understand the kind of common nature to all the phenomena, all the conditioned phenomena. It's called Udayabbe Jnana. So it's constantly showing us everything, wherever you pay your attention, everything is changing, everything is arising and passing away. So if your mind becomes fairly matured in this area, then only it becomes kind of disenchanted to this process. So therefore don't be in a hurry to jump to kind of an area which is not yet matured or not yet prepared for you, not yet suitable for you, but stay where you are and constantly doing the job. And when mind itself understood the process, when mind itself is matured enough, then it will slowly deviate to the other side, slowly go to the other side. Other side in the sense, just to letting go all these things, and it will maintain some kind of a dispassion, and then it will be free. So it will come into a freedom from objects. So it was looking or observing various types of objects for a fair long time, and it understood the nature of that. As a result, it is now start to deviate from those objects, pops up or coming back from those objects, or repulse from those objects, disenchanted towards those objects. So, and it likes to be alone, likes to behave alone, just kind of seclusion, be free from objects. At that time, you have to encourage that kind of seclusion. So at that time, still if you are pushing your mind back to observe this arising and passing away, then you are going backward. So that's what I have mentioned yesterday. And suppose you did the whole homework and everything is done, now mind is free and it is stay comfortably. And at that time, in the ultimate sense, you are doing nothing. Just be. So actually this is very difficult. Just being is fairly difficult because we are born to do something. But here you have nothing to do. Just be. So that is where we like to go and look at again sankhara, whether we want to look at arising and passing away, or whether am I going to pay attention to the posture. So various questions are coming because it's in a way utterly boring because doing nothing. I mean, and mind doesn't have any place to anchor itself. It's like kind of a freedom, but you can't appreciate it at the beginning. So you always have many questions, and the ego is giving us many baits. Many baits are given by the ego. So if you eat any of them, you get caught. So one bait is telling that this is useless because you are doing nothing. There is no progress happening in this meditation. So you come back and watch the arising and passing away. That's a one bait. And another thing telling that this is utterly boring. Why don't you go and do some walking meditation? That's another bait. So someone may telling, okay, I'm feeling bored. Let's do some Buddhanussati or Metta, something like that, so that I get some, some happiness. It's another bait. All these things are wrong answers coming from the ego. So we have to, actually we get caught to these things, and then only maybe a Kalyana Mitta will tell you, so this is not the path, this is the path, like that he will clarify things to you. And if you are humble enough, then you go for that and spend some time, and then slowly mind will understand. Slowly you yourself will understand the value. Yeah, that's all. So that's all the written questions. So if you have any other questions, we can spend some more time. Yeah, there's another question actually given to me. So this is related to the walking meditation. So I have read this report, and according to her, so she's doing walking meditation with some synchronization with the breath. So when in breath happens, one kind of an action, and when out breath happens, another action, and while holding breath, another action. And likewise, so there's a kind of as far as I understood, kind of a beautiful balance between the breathing and the bodily activity, and no harm. So if you can manage it without kind of a tension, you can, this helps. But only thing is, if your attention being split, if your concentration being split to many tasks, so then that kind of a deeper concentration, so some focused attention to a particular place might not be coming through this, because you have to be somewhat aware about the breathing process. At the same time, you have to be aware of the movement of the legs, and so your attention being split. So therefore, just careful. If it is happening naturally, then no harm. Say you are now if you are doing it for a long time and you are now fully aware of the legs, but the breathing is naturally automatically being blended or being very kind of superimposed beautifully, then now no problem at all. Actually this is more related to the yoga exercises, and yoga is another beautiful way of doing Kayanupassana. And yoga and then Tai Chi, so those things are also. And if you are doing these kind of bodily activities alone, very silently, without inner chatter, being mindful about each and every movement of your hand, each and every movement of your leg, each and every movement of your body, and each and every, say, relaxing or sort of tensions happening in the muscles or relaxing happening in the muscles, stretching happens in the muscles. So if you are able to fully aware of this whole process, whole body while doing these exercises, you are fully in Kayanupassana. So don't think that yoga is out of the business, fully in Kayanupassana. So if you can remember, if it's the people who have been to the mindfulness summit conducted in Colombo, so there are Venerable Yogavachara Rahula Bante, so he very beautifully explained that how these yoga exercises can be used to develop mindfulness. So therefore it's a very beautiful balance, and again it helps your body as well as the development of the mindfulness. Then yeah, actually again strengthening of the neck also is mentioned. That is also very true, because actually I also get to know from Venerable Rahula during the GMS, where he very clearly mentioned that sometimes our neck muscles are not strong enough. So while meditating, our neck slowly starts to come down. So we started like this, and slowly you become like this. So it comes and come to here. It's in a way, if you are practicing it for a long time, it's further harmful to your neck. It will damage the spinal cord. So have to be careful. So therefore, if you are doing some kind of neck exercises, some strengthening of these muscles, if it is happening to you, you better do such exercises so that you keep throughout not that kind of a completely bent neck, but rather some comfortable posture. So then again related to the this Dhamma sermons, it is asked. So these Dhamma sermons and all the retreats of the Nissarana Vanaya is published in the Nissarana Vanaya website, Nissarana.lk, www.nissarana.lk website, and again in Dhamsara website, dhamsara.org, Dhamsara DAMSARA.org. So those in these two websites, so Dhamma sermons, retreats are published. So you all can access these things. So that's about that question. So if you have any other question, we can answer. Yes.
Bhante, can you please explain the sanskara?
Yeah.
Mind watching the mind.
Yes. Mind watching the mind. Yeah, actually the whole Chittanupassana, Dhammanupassana is mind watching the mind. So only Kayanupassana and Vedananupassana is mostly mind watching the body and mind watching the bodily feelings. And even the feelings can later come to the mind as well, because feelings are further clarified or rather explained. Even the mental happiness and mental unhappiness, somanasa, domanasa, and again the bodily pleasure and the bodily pain. So that is also there. But when it comes to Chittanupassana, so mind starts to know different types of minds. So when you are having angry mind, so you know now I have anger. So it is mindfulness which is showing the state of the mind. So when you have lust, so you know now it's a lustful mind. When you have a deluded mind, still mind is sort of in a delusion. But the mindfulness helps to come out of it, maybe partly, and showing it. So this actually is sometimes difficult to understand, because when one is in anger, is it possible for one to know it? So this is something that we can't immediately understand, but you can do it. So that's a beauty. So if you are, it may be true that for some time you being caught totally to it, but if you have developed mindfulness, immediately there's a kind of a coming out of it, coming out of the anger, and at that instant you know that you are angry right now. At that time you know you are in a lust. At that time you know you are in a utter delusion. So that is a kind of a split, or kind of a crack happens in the stone, something like that. So at that time, if you address that point, you can overcome it. So that's why Buddha says, Satadi pateya sabbe Dhamma. It may be a real gross defilement, still mindfulness can overcome it. So that's the strength of the mindfulness. That's why we are developing mindfulness, present moment awareness. So this awareness, this mindfulness has that capacity to handle even a gross defilement. Yeah. Okay. You can pass this thing. Yeah.
Venerable Sir,
Yep.
very often I am aware of the negative emotions that come up, whether it's anger or mostly I find it's now anger that comes up, like criticism or judgment. Not big things. It's about little things.
Sorry, not big things, little things. Yes.
However, getting over it doesn't come automatically just because I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
And I wonder whether there's any further advice you can give for that.
So what you are telling is, once you are aware of it,
it does
not go away. It does not fades away. It still remains.
Sometimes then the papanchaka comes and I think, now Lakshmi, you should be, you are getting angry.
Yes.
This is so stupid. And then I start thinking, there's so much corruption in the country. There's so much of this. There's so much of that. Everyone's lying. I'm sick of it. And then, even though I know all of that is bad, it's not pulling me out of it.
Yes. Yeah, that is true. So actually, related to the anger, the culprit is that we rationalize it. We rationalize ourselves. So the other part is wrong. I mean, it's 100% sure the other part has done me wrong. I am innocent. I did the right thing. So if till you think like that, you can't overcome anger. So that's why Buddha says in Dhammapada, Akkochimang, Avadimang, Ajinimang, like that. So someone has blamed me, someone has what to say in a battle, someone has defeated me, someone had hit me. Till you think like that, Buddha says you can't overcome anger. So if you can simply avoid that kind of thinking, then slowly Buddha says you are doing kind of a tit for tat. So that kind of attitude will disappear. But till we think that I am correct, the other side is bad, or other side is wrong, we justify ourselves. We rationalize our anger and we keep strengthening it. But if we are in a good position to forgive, then at that time we come back, we calm down. Actually, I'll just refer a little story. Bhante Dhammajiva used to tell. He has recently read a particular book published by one American something, and there one lady, and she's a beautiful lady and married to a drug addict, and she has a child also, And this drug addict husband start to torture her and doing various things, and slowly they were actually rich, and all the wealth and everything were lost, and he is being caught by a gang and all these things, and ultimately somehow the husband was killed by the gang person, or something has happened, and the court has suspected wife has killed the husband, and she is now taken to the custody and all these things, and now she has to face the society, and she has to raise the child, and every whole wealth has gone, and in an utter mess of life, and somehow she was able to prove her innocence and came out. And now she's burning of what has happened. And she has gone to some place, some kind of a worshipping place. Maybe, in the Catholic faith, you go to some place and you kind of confess something.
Yes.
So you go there, and the decision she has taken is just forgive husband. So even though he is the one did the whole mess, the very point that the very time she forgiven him, the whole burning, the whole resistance in her has gone. So if we can do that kind of a radical action, that kind of a radical decision, so that helps to come back. So we keep burning because in one way we can't forgive the other party, and on the other way we rationalize our stand, our decision, and we are the ones suffering. We are the ones suffering. So if we, and on the other side is knowing the this adinava, the danger. More and more we understand the danger of harboring that kind of ill will, harboring that kind of revengeful thoughts. If we know the danger, so when it is arising, we understand it is not something to entertain. It is not something to go for. So at the very early stages, so we understand immediately the adinava, the danger involved. So we quickly at the inception level we try to avoid. So it's not an easy job. It is easy to tell, but it is. I mean, slowly we develop these things. Yeah. So nothing happens overnight. Definitely not.
But that was a very useful answer, Venerable Sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Much
Good,
merit to
good.
you.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's all for today then. So we have conducting this retreat, you all from Thursday, and we all were able to participate in sitting meditation, walking meditation, and practicing anapanasati, maybe rising and falling, various kinds of kayanupassana ways, or maybe various satipatthana meditation, or even other sides of meditation. And some of you have involved in preparing dana, offering dana, helping others, organizing the retreat. So these are various ways that we have accumulated merit. So let's share these merits with all the passed away relatives. And again, we share these merits with all the celestial beings. And we share these merits with all the beings who are in need of merits. While keeping these compassionate thoughts in our mind, let's recite the traditional verses. Ittavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha ca bummattha deva naga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu sasanang. ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවා නාග මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු දේශනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවා නාග මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු මම් පරං ඉදං වෝ ඥාතීනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉදං වෝ ඥාතීනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉදං වෝ ඥාතීනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉමිනා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන මාමේ බාල සමාගමෝ සතං සමාගමෝ හෝතු යාව නිබ්බාන පත්තියා ඉමිනා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන මාමේ බාල සමාගමෝ සතං සමාගමෝ හෝතු යාව නිබ්බාන පත්තියා ඉමිනා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන මාමේ බාල කමාගමෝ සතං සමාගමෝ හෝතු යාව නිබ්බාන පත්තියා සාදු සාදු සාදු. So before wind up, is there any words to tell by the organizers?